positive 13 to negative 13 down here. And so usually life begins, consciousness. I'll do that. Yes, softly spoken. Okay, thank you. So we'll disconnect it. There we go. Okay, so evolution of consciousness usually begins in the physical domain. And so there's two paths of ascension, one going up, one going down. And so physical reality is the heart of this universe. And here we have the green sphere called Midgard, which is the domain of humanity. And so entering into this universe are a super advanced race that have experienced many, many universes, and they want to partake in the excitement and wisdom of this universe. So they arrive here. In linear time, it would be approximately 125,000 years ago. So the main character of the Asir would be Odin, representing a very, very advanced group of void beings. Entry into the universe requires checks and balances. And so in the mythology, we've got this notion of sacrifice, again reflected in later spiritual modalities. Here he still has a spear. This is not sacrifice for anyone else. It is sacrifice unto himself. And so the outcome seems to be a set of conscious, or let's say consciousness technology, called the runes. And so gaining access to the technology of the runes, which don't look like this originally, here comes Odin bouncing down the tree of life, the Yggdrasil. So this is just an introduction, really. No model is perfect. So going down again into this very good model, which is imperfect, the Asgard start interacting with beings in different dimensions and densities. So with Earth being the heart, we've got light elves and dark elves. We've got realms of ice and fire. We've got the veneer, and then we have giants. So this essentially is a natural network of wormholes giving access from one to the other. So originally, when Earth was very young, moved to this part of the universe, the surface, the crust of the Earth was completely molten. The beings that used the Stargate networks messed up. They crisped the place. Everything was molten. And so quite naturally, the first beings that could migrate and start the process of evolution were non-physical. So they're fire elementals. As Earth cooled down, they continued to be able to go back and forth between their original home worlds, their systems, and Earth. Eventually things cooled down and we were able to, as a planet, host ice beings, still to this day present in the Himalayas. Then we've got basically giants, and then we've got the veneer. So the Asgard initially started interacting with the veneer, and war broke out. The veneer, being the most advanced beings in this universe, said, oh, hell no, I don't think so. We don't need any more people here. And so the result of this was warfare. Warfare between the Asir and the veneer. This doesn't fall into the category of linear time. So the nature and duration of these wars cannot be comprehended truly in a physical form. Eventually, like what we have here on Earth, the war was ended through divine union. So here we have the handsome groom and the beautiful bride, Freya, of the veneer, and here we have Odin. Now these are very different, even in the depictions. So here we have the canine, and here we have the cat people. So this would also correspond with the Urma. So there's lots of symbology in here. But again, through the divine union, peace was established. So coming down the tree of life, going through the realm of ice, but also the light elves, eventually the Asgard made it to Earth. And lo and behold, they found warfare. Closer? Yeah. So right here at the heart of the universe, physical realm, at a very, very special planet called Earth, they found warfare. This was very good for them. They like a good fight. They really don't care if they're on the winning side. They care if they're on the right side. So they did this the right way, incarnating in human bodies. And so, as they demonstrated great physical and psionic prowess, people revered them. As time went on, they became deities, but this was not their original claim. Now, when you fight shoulder to shoulder with somebody on a battlefield, very deep bonds are created. So in order to help humanity, one of the strategies that the Asir employed was liberation through the forced reincarnation mechanism. Seeing that souls are pushed in after death through this fictitious life review, which is incomplete. Before they're ready, they're pumped back into the system and used as a battery. So they assigned these really delightful beings called the Valkyrie. Those dying righteously on the battlefield were offered a choice to exit the reincarnation cycle, the samsara. Funny enough, many Muslims dying on the battlefield righteously do not get their 72 virgins, they get one of these ladies. To be honest with you, I'd die on the battlefield for one of these guys. So this was the first way they helped their honored brothers and sisters. If you fight righteously without fear of death, that is good enough for ascension. So then they started thinking, well, that's not good enough. Not everybody wants to fight. Aggression is not the only way. So let's help these mighty humans in a different manner. And so great investigations were conducted into the physiological structure of the mighty human. And so here come the modified rooms. I'm going to come back to this slide again. 24 of them, and if you add the void room, the most powerful one here, we've got 25. So remember that whole lawyer business, I'm showing up at your door, hey, your uncle has passed away and you're a multi-billionaire, you just need to prove your identity. This is what is required from you. You've got to learn your ABCs. So this original state is called the Elder Futhark, and then they evolved into the Younger Futhark. These are not just phonetic representations of sounds in a language put together. They can form words and be used to transcribe speech. Each one is a map of consciousness. So the reason for using a two-dimensional pictogram is the result of very astute study of the neuroanatomy of consciousness. So this is looking at the human brain from the left hemisphere. And so here we see a process where speech or cognition begins. And very, very early on, about 200 milliseconds after a conceptual preparation is done, we have a lexical concept which is stored in the brain in the form of a lemma, or lema. These are two-dimensional pictograms. This is how we understand. And so many advanced cultures use two-dimensional pictograms or hieroglyphs, including the Egyptians, the Atlanteans. They could do 3D. Look at their statues and monuments. This is tying very well into the linguistic centers of the brain. So these two-dimensional pictograms, called lemas, work directly with cognition, and they're built like a tailor-made glove for the human brain. So originally they wouldn't have this form. They're adapted perfectly for the mighty human. There are two centers in particular that have been known since the 18th century, not through neuroscience, but through studying damage. One is the Wernicke's area, superior temporal gyrus, and one is called the Broca's area. These two slits here are the primary and supplementary motor cortex. So from here, the music and the movement is designed. These centers are connected to the muscles that generate speech. They fire signals and the words come out. At this point here, Wernicke's area is where we have this two-dimensional pictogram that can be very beautifully represented by a structure of runes. So this is an introduction to them. There are 24, including the void, we've got 25. They do, of course, correspond to sounds. So this symbol, Kenas, could be C or Q. P, Perthro. So, and Su's, rune of Odin, of course, representing divine energy. Uthala, gifts of the infinite soul, and so on. So, in order to benefit from your inheritance, this is the price that you must pay. So you will start one by one with these as an initial state of union, of alliance. There are many meanings associated with this, but you need to remember the symbol and the corresponding collection of meanings that go with these. But this is just the very, very beginning. Because these runes can be laid upon each other and form infinite complexity. So moving down to the next page, we've got binary combinations of runes. 24 times 23 is 552. Putting two of them together already surpasses any human language. And so these become maps of consciousness. So we've got 8 in this page. So for example, this one on the top left is for Fehu, an F with the prongs pointed upwards. Fehu, Fehu, very top. Money, money, money. Dollar, dollar bill, yo. This is what this one shows. Fehu and Uruz, powerful abundance, becoming a billionaire. And so this one is Uruz, strength, joy, insight, and so on. Vision, gift, joy, again, Rido, evolution. Out of the 552, going to the next page, 48 can be used for harm. So of course, this caveat must be inserted here. If you send out evil, it's going to come back to you. We're creating a ripple in the pond of reality, and the reflections absolutely return. So 2 pages out of 24 can be used for harm. One would be the Hagalas, which is a storm, forces of nature, forces beyond human control. And next one is Nauthes, which is a state of desperation or need. I mention these specifically because they can be transmuted. Somebody sends you a storm, you fold out a dirty carpet and allow the storm to clean it for you. So like the Tower card in Tarot, you can use the forces beyond human control for your benefit. So when you're receiving harm, you can make the intention, may it clean out what does not serve me. So you're using the force of the storm to benefit you. So that covers the first naughty ones. Next one, Nauthes, which is a state of need. So for example, here we may have powerful desperation. The Uruz is speed, strength, and untamed potential. This one is a state of financial desperation and so on. So you see these combinations do exist. The way to transmute the state of Nauthes is by changing its meaning into self-reliance. I am sovereign. I am independent of everyone and everything. I am connected to the beloved source, and all I need is within me. This nullifies any negative intentions sent towards you. And the rest are really positive. Now, the thing about the runes that separates them from many other spiritual modalities for divination and manifestation is that they are brutally effective. If you're using them for divination, meaning looking into possible future timelines, they don't fluff around. They give you one sentence, and that is all you need to know. So equal to their efficiency in divination and giving you insight into possible future timelines, here we have combinations of three. Some of them are really beautiful. Strength, courage, music, youth, wisdom, ending strife, and so on. They may gain artistic qualities. And so here comes the meat part of the meat and potatoes, the good stuff, where I'm going to show you a very simple and effective method in creating something that is powerful, that is balanced, that is beautiful, and that is harmonious. And with these conditions of balance and beauty and, let's say, self-correction, even the Vikings, the Norse people, got it badly wrong sometimes. I come across esteemed clients from time to time with injuries created by weapons inscribed with runes. So here are examples of some famous patterns that you have probably seen. So the left one, this is a protective rune. So if I can get my little laser pointer to work for me, here you will see a trident right here. The trident is the algiz. It is representing the wild ox. It has prongs and it shows vigilance. The lines here are multiplying the effect, and so they are pointing harmoniously in every direction. So no matter from what direction energy is given to this rune bind, it acts the same. There are no weak points. This one, the Nordic compass. Sailors use this to find their way, but as you see, that element of symmetry and harmony is absent. So compared to this one, this is not a very good rune bind. So let's go back to the one with the runes shown independently. Here's the human brain. And so here, let's select a number of beautiful ones and combine them together. So I'll say the meaning, and if you feel resonance, let's pick. We're going to pick three. Justice, storm, shield, victory, insight, rebirth, protection, healing, gifts of the infinite soul, evolution, magic, almighty human or humanity, abundance, need, gestation, harmony, reliability, trustworthiness, brand new dawn, joy, fruitful harvest, speed, strength, and untamed potential, divine insight, state of being frozen, and a gift. So, shall we pick justice? Okay, so we'll pick justice. Let's pick the sun, victory, honor, and satisfaction. Let's make it 4. So we're picking protection and healing. So from the top row, justice, sun, protection, and healing. So I'm going to use a piece of paper here because I don't have a whiteboard. We're going to create a grid. 7 up, 7 across. This is the heart of the grid, corresponding with the human heart chakra. 3 centers below, 3 centers above. So I'm just going to put the symbols that we chose, and then one by one, we're going to create a harmonious, balanced rune bind. Really straightforward. So let's start with justice. Justice, we chose zero, victory. we chose protection and healing. So I've just put these as a reference on the top of the page. So one by one, let's place this in a grid where we have as above, so below, as within, so without. So no matter what you do with this, the whole thing is the same, no matter from what dimension or from what point of origination energy is given to it, it acts identically. There's self-healing and self-balancing. So let's start with the upward arrow, top left side. So top and bottom part created. Let's put in the central column, and then we'll move to left and right. So far, is everybody happy? You start from one side, you turn it around, do the exact same thing, turn it around, do the same thing. Okay, so we've got top left one, justice. Let's do the next one, which is Sowilo, victory, honor, satisfaction. Top side, letter S. Using this grid pattern makes 45-degree angles, so the whole thing comes out more triple, more harmonious. So let's do the same thing now for the bottom, left and right. Two letters in, this is what we've got. So, next one, protection from evil. Oh yeah, we can all use some of that. Top side. We have already the top of the trident, and so we've got the prongs. Let's replicate this for below, within, and without. Three rooms in, this is what we've got. So let's add the last one, Laguz, elemental water. Healing, renewal, repair, back to your highest divine blueprint. It's already in here. You see, up and down, sideways. So this is the pattern that we've got, no matter how we change its orientation or from what direction or dimension energy is exerted, it behaves identically. So we have symmetry, we have harmony, and we have beauty. Now, this is one of the easiest ways to manifest. So I've given you one example, very, very simple, and so here comes the end of my talk. I would like to now invite you for a process of interrogation and validation. So ask away.